Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the set. So it's been an entire month, 30 days of me using the Google Pixel 10 Pro in the XL size. And as most would say, a daily driver, although who really knows what that means these days. But I've taken it on vacation. I've used it for work, YouTube stuff. And I really put it through its paces. So is this the smartest smartphone of the year, or is it just more of the same? In this video, we're gonna break down the things that I love about the Pixel 10 Pro and the things that could be better. And then at the end of that, we're gonna give my final verdict after using the device for an entire month. Without further ado, man, you already know it. Let's get into it. So let's talk about the good. These are the things that I absolutely love about the Pixel 10. Let's start with the star of the show. And honestly, the only reason why you would buy a Pixel anyway is the camera. Hint, it's in the name, Pixel. The camera system, number one, is probably, for me, hands down, the best camera system on a smartphone when it comes to photos. The quality has always been exceptional, and this year is really no exception. The pictures this thing actually produces rival those taken by a mirrorless camera, DSLR, all of those. So yeah, let's talk about the specs though. It's packing a 50 megapixel main sensor, a 48 megapixel ultra wide, and a 48 megapixel telephoto with 5 times optical zoom. But the hardware is only half of the story though. The Google AI features that they have packed in here for editing photos is absolutely ridiculous. It helps you remove distractions with Magic Eraser and even get that perfect group shot with the Add Me function. And it also gets that perfect shot that gets everybody smiling. It's what we've been saying and what they've been using for years is computational photography, and Google is the best at that. But that's not why you're here. Here's the biggest news. Video quality for Pixels for the longest have been meh, right? But in this instance, I do think that it may have surpassed Apple in some aspects. The videos I shot during my vacation came out freaking amazing. They were crisp, they were stable, and fantastic color science that came with that whole thing of me just using that one camera to capture my entire vacation, hoping that it came out perfect. And as you can tell, it actually did. Now, we can't have a phone review without talking about performance. And there's been a lot of complaints about the Tensor chip in the previous devices, but I found that this phone is surprisingly snappy and it's optimized to its peak anyway. Now, running this is the new Google Tensor G5 chip built on a 3 nanometer process. Now, it features a custom CPU architecture and next gen TPU, or tensor processing units, what they're called, designed specifically for Google's AI models. Look, I don't feel the need on this channel to do benchmarks. There's tons of that shit out there already. But in 2025, bench scores are mostly just bragging points and points of contentions for nerds. I'm a nerd, but I'm good on that. The Pixel is not known for being a hardcore gaming phone, but it handles gaming, light gaming, and I say medium gaming without any issues. For what really matters is the everyday task. This device is an absolute breeze when it comes to day-to-day tasks. Now, next up, the build quality. And let's just say it's great continuing on that same design language that they had in previous models. Of course, the iconic camera visor is back. It's kind of a trademark of the Pixel phones nowadays, and I come to expect it. Plus, I came from using the Samsung Z Fold 7, and it was a rockathon when you put that thing down. The Pixel and the new iPhone have solved that issue. Well, the Pixel was first. That eliminates the table wobble. That design language leads us to the screen because the hardware is more than half of what we talk about here. And this device has a 6.8-inch LTPO Super Actua display, which is probably my favorite display of the year. With the HDR and that ridiculously bright peak brightness of, is it 3,300 nits? And the silky smooth 120 hertz refresh rate is really a joy to look at if you really think about it. And it's protected by Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2, making it the perfect device to withstand those bumps, falls, bruises, letting your kids play with your phones, and so on and so forth. But again, there's another but. Let's talk about AI. Because Google's AI implementations are miles ahead of everybody else. And when we say everybody, we know who we talking about. This thing is feature packed, and it's not like the old Samsung phones who had tons of features and half of them just weren't useful. These are actually useful. Like the number one crowd pleaser is Magic Eraser, the live voice translation, the visual search or circle to search, which everybody is using now, and Google started it. And Gemini Live for me is absolute chef's kiss. So I want to take a trip to Europe and spend 2 weeks there, but I want to go to Ireland, London, Amsterdam, France, and possibly one more country during that 2 week span.
That sounds like an amazing trip. With 2 weeks, you could definitely hit those spots. Have you thought about how much time you'd like to spend in each place? That might help you decide on that last country.
3 days.
Okay, so you're looking to spend about 3 days in Ireland, London, Amsterdam, and France, with the possibility of adding one more country to your 2 week European trip. That sounds like a great itinerary. Is there anything specific I can help you with, like finding flights or hotels for those locations?
Yeah, I want to know when the best time is to take that vacation and which one offers the best rates, kinda on plane tickets.
You'll generally find the best deals on flights and hotels in Europe during the shoulder season. That's roughly April to May or September to October. The weather's still pretty good, but you'll avoid the big summer crowds and higher prices. Does that fit your schedule?
Now there is an added one this year with the notebook LM integration, summarizing and organizing all of your information, well, that you allow it to, But not to mention the live call transcripts. Everybody needed this, and they didn't know that they needed. But there are some features that I can really do without, though. Camera coach being number one, no. But it could be useful for people who just really want to learn how to get the perfect shot. It could be one of those things that turn you into a novice, turn your head type photo person to a semi-professional. Now, here's the not so good and things that they could really improve on. The speaker quality. Do I need it? No, but last year I had an issue with my Pixel and I had to send it back twice with the speakers. It's not terrible, But in comparison to other devices, even from last year, it could stand to be a little better. For a flagship phone of this price, yeah, I would really like to have a little more fullness and maybe some improved bass in this device and not sound so tinny. Again, it's not terrible, but for this price, step it up a little bit, Google. Next, the battery life. With a 5100 milliamp hour battery, it's decent. It's not as good as the iPhone Pro Max. With this phone, I normally end my days with about 15% remaining on my heavy use days. I really need to actually top it off just a little bit. But fortunately, the Pixel comes with MagSafe, or whatever Google's calling it these days. Yeah. Anyway, we got MagSafe on Google now. Yeah. In the Pro XL variant, we get 25 watts wireless charging and up to 45 watts wired charging, which kind of negates the whole battery thing. And yeah, a lot of people just really don't care about battery life these days. It's just a point of contention for nerds because most people have chargers in their cars, chargers everywhere, and every time they put their phone down, they're using a charger, right? Now, the other point of contention for me was this shit get a little hot. It gets a little hot. Yeah, a lot hot. On my heavy use days during testing this device, and when we was on vacation, I was taking lots of videos and pictures. It got a little warm. Not to the point where you could fry an egg on it, but this shit got hot. And it wasn't just that break-in period where the device was getting to know me. It was legit hot. So Google, do better. Get us a better vapor chamber or some better heat conduction and we'll be good. Now, I must say that I am a Pixel fanboy. Have been since the days of HTC. This version right here feels like the ultimate evolution of that vision that they had when they first started the Nexus line and turned into the Pixel line. While AI really has been a buzzword for most companies, including Apple, we don't talk about that. Okay, never mind. That's another video. Google has fully embraced and made it work seamlessly with everyday tasks. This by far is the most productive device that I've had with little thinking in years because it uses that AI to assist you, not do, but assist you in a lot of tasks. And to say that it's a worthy upgrade, it's well deserved. Definitely a worthy upgrade. Now, to say that this is the iPhone of Androids is a bit of an exaggeration because the Pixel offers so much more than the iPhone in terms of smart features and customization, which Apple's finally getting on board with. And you can say that, hey, you're just a Pixel fanboy, but guess what? We got the iPhone 17 Pro Max here. So yeah, stand by for that review on both of these where we take them out and we put them through its paces. So don't disrespect the Pixel by saying it's the iPhone of Androids. But if you are an iPhone user looking for a welcome change and some customization, this won't make you feel like you're so lost. So let's wrap this thing up, man. I've talked long enough. Yeah, this phone is freaking amazing, man. After a full month of use, it has not let me down in the key areas in which I need my smartphone to work. But I want to know what your thoughts are. Are you picking up one of these. Are you an iPhone? Okay, I would say iSheep, but I won't disrespect you like that. But if you are looking to change, would this be the phone that make you leave the Apple ecosystem to come over to the Google side? Let me know down in the comment section, man. Let me know how the footage actually looked in this video. And please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, because we are trying to grow this thing, man. Before the end of the year, we want to get the set to 15,000 subs. I know that's asking for a lot. I know, but guess what? It don't cost a thing, man. Just hit the subscribe button. And it don't cost a thing to just hit the ding of the notification bell. So you will be the first to know when we drop new content here on the set. Again, folks, I am your boy, Money Matt, here with my 30-day follow-up review of the Google Pixel 10 Pro in the big boy version, the XL variant. I'm your boy, Money Matt, folks. I'm gonna go get on out of here and go do some compare and contrast between these two, man. Bid you folks adieu. Thanks for watching. Peace.